What is good, people? Um, in honor of Scarlet Violet 1v1, kind of just being a failure in pretty much, I would say, every way. I've decided to start doing 1v1 like tier reviews and with a tier list, and more so just what I think about the tier, and a tier list. It's kind of like two ideas where one I'll just like discuss the tier, and then two I'm gonna just like show you my tier list and how I play the tier and shit like that. So for the first one, we have the most recent gen, Sword Shield 1v1. So I'll start off with this. I think this tier sucks. Pretty bad in most ways. My goal of this video is to like try to trigger mischief as much as possible. So we'll see how many Discord DMs I get 24 hours after this video is uploaded, but overall I just want to like first off just talk about why I think this tier is bad. So for the first like year, I would say or I don't know how long it was before we got, I think it was bad from like the start of 2020 until DLC 2, which was the end of 2020, right? So I would say for a year almost, this tier was complete ballsack and didn't have a lot of mons. The mons that were there were kind of ass. Like everyone likes to talk about like, oh, Porygon Z and Rillaboom, but like back then, like we had fucking, I'm old manning a tier I didn't even used to play, by the way, fun fact. But literally, we had Scorch, we had Melodic, like those mons are so like defining of that era that it's kind of hilarious how hard they fell off after actually good mons were introduced. And it kind of feels like there's the first year of the meta was just pointless, and then like DLC 2 started like an actual meta game. So let's go over building, because I am first and foremost a builder. That's what I am in 1v1. I build. I'm like definitely in terms of like, I'm not gonna say I'm a better builder than player, but I'm a way above average builder, and playing wise I'm not that level. I'm not like 2020 ecstatic, I can't just outclick everyone and have visions and all that shit. But I'm gonna just say from the building perspective, dude, I don't even know where to start tackling this tier. I really don't. So I guess I'll just say this: I always wanted current gen to be like this from SM, because in SM I think Z moves are a bit too much in 1v1. They're too low opportunity cost, and I think that it just makes it very like, I don't know, prep and cheese and matchup and luck based in like the grand scheme of things of a tier. There's players who are incredibly consistent in that too, but even there's people like the Shadowclaw who like are fucking out for blood in PL, and then in World Cup they just disappear. I don't know a ton of people who, like, I guess Kentari, but then Kentari became washed. Like I don't know players who are good and show up and form a positive record every single tour. It used to be Kentari, but then EVE started sucking ass. But either way, even then, Kentari in World Cup played like actual players. Like he played like 4 actual players in a row, which is kind of wild for 1v1 these days. But building wise, I always wanted a tier like this because I didn't like Z moves. I like ORAS, and I think how megas were in ORAS were very like, I don't know, very enough. They're like enough balance wise, and then Z moves were a little bit more than enough. So I'm like, I just want a new gen that kind of feels like an old gen, because at that point I played early Black White, early DVP, early ADV, and I liked all those metas because They were all fun back then. They were all really fun back then when they were new and before people just found out, okay, these are the winning mons and everything else don't use. Right? This is before all of that. So at this point, I'm wanting SS to be exactly what it is right now. I'm wanting it to be a balanced gen with no stupid gimmick mechanic. I genuinely thought that people wouldn't, or the council or the community or whatever, wouldn't ban Dynamax. I genuinely thought that at the end of SF, because I'm the type that I don't really do a ton of research on mechanics, but I heard it's just like insanely broken. I'm like, yeah, they're knowing 1v1, they're not gonna ban it. They just voted do not ban on Dragonite. No one wanted to ban Z-moves, so there's no way. But then it did happen. I'm like, okay, cool. This is what I've always wanted. And then it's just not, the base SS is just, matter of fact. Here, I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna go through my old SS teams. Here, let me do that real quick. Okay, so we're back, and even back then, I thought Dragon Fairy Steel was overpowered. We got some old shit like Draco's ult. We got, is this Yachi? Oh, this isn't the Yachi Gastro team. We got Tentacruel. We got this Chansey V-Newt. This is like probably still usable in current SS. Scarf Curum Black with Pataya V-Newt. Dude, Pataya V-Newt is such a goddamn throwback. We got this team. I think this is a East Europe team. This is some nonsense I made with Charlie Bear. What did this do? It was for some mon that you couldn't paralyze. I don't know. I really don't know off the top of my head. Then we got the Ravon C team because all the teams were insanely slow. We got the Pikachu Roserade combination. Shoutouts to Ursa World Cup. And we got this random double water team with Aquajet Prim. Dude, I used to hate Aquajet Prim. Whatever this fucking nonsense was. Chilean Prim. Throwback. Even though it says probably still usable. I guess my point of this is to say this tier. Oh my god, the Eblurb or Shifu team. He did not build, but he's a bum. He does not build. Throwback to the squad with the Flame Bulk Up. Legendary. Overall, this tier just used to look it used to look funny. These are some funny looking teams. Drampa. We got my boy Drampa. We got my boy. This is EV'd very weird. Yeah, we got all these fellas. And I thought this tier was pretty bad, but it was fun to like throw some like nonsense together. Like this Togekiss Hippo team. This is like the best ground type back then, by the way. There's like no viable grounds besides like I guess Steelix. I don't know what the point of this tangent was. I'm gonna be completely honest. But basically, this tier had penis mons, and then it's like okay, the ideal meta came when it was Ursa LT. That was like Sword Shield peaked so hard at that moment because it's like I said earlier. Before people start like super optimizing shit, you can kind of get away with running a lot of fun stuff, a lot of cool stuff. I remember Kai ran a Koba Berry or Shifu because Nale was spamming Moltres G. Like that was just so, like Crest wasn't too bad, Victini wasn't too bad, Genesect wasn't too bad. People were running AV Zygarde. That was such a sick meta, dude. It felt like everyone had their own spin on it. It felt like everyone had their own take on it. It was super fun to watch a bunch of different players and like the high level. Ursa LT was fucking amazing. Like great tour. One of the best tours I ever hosted easily in terms of competition, in terms of fun level, in terms of community engagement. Insanely good tour. And then you get into like the PL era, where people kind of start like standardizing sets and people start realizing like what's a mon that dropped that started like to fall off. I guess people realized like fucking Registeel wasn't that good or whatever, you know. And then this is after Victini got banned. I wish I wish they would just tier dynamically and just like ban certain things off Victini. Because then I think this meta could have been a little better than what it... Not even a little better. Could have been a whole lot better than what it ended up being. But I mean, I don't know. If a meta sustained by Victini #1 is like a thing you can do long term, I don't know. But basically the tier got developed and blah blah blah, all this shit, right? And I don't know why I'm giving you guys a backstory of Sword Shield, but you guys have mostly been here, right? But basically, overall, like, I'm looking at this B+ to B- area, to the quirky matchup fish area, right, on my tier list, right? There's too many of these mons that are like viable, quote unquote. Like my issue with building is, okay, you give everything Encore, which sucks, by the way. That's a bad decision. And balancing 1v1. But then I was talking with Zach Trip, the GOAT. Not the GOAT, but like definitely top 3 SS players ever, obviously. I don't really know 2 players that would probably be better than him throughout the whole meta. Maybe the Sword Shield GOAT, to be honest. I don't know, I haven't really thought about it, but I was expecting to hear a lot of backlash, because I was basically telling you everything I hate about the tier, which I'm about to tell you guys. And I expected to hear backlash, but then you just kept giving me like more points on like, oh yeah, I didn't think about why this part sucks, but building with this tier, look, my VR looks like my usage in this tier, right? That's because I think building SS is like, it's like problem solving. The problem is that I'm building a tier that sucks, that has too many mons that are like viable, it has too many mons that have too many sets, and that cores aren't good enough. I think SS cores are not good enough. Like, there's not a lot of 2-mon cores that like in ORS, literally, this is about to sound like a humble brag, right? But Mubs hosted like some actually fucking terrible, just like no effort, like garbage. Not shitting on Mubs, but that's just what it was. Some like ORS Discord side tour. I literally won that tour only using 2 mons. Because ORS cores like Zard Guard, Venu Tran, Guard Bro, you know, shit like that is like viable, right? Like, these mons complement each other's weaknesses. But in Black-White, or not Black-White, Black-White has the same problem though. In SS, there's too many mons that can like match up fish cores, dude. And once you ban Victini, Genesect, Jirachi, Zygarde. By the way, okay, it's side tangent. I don't really know why Zygarde 100% complete, Zydaddy, whatever. I don't get why that shit's banned, to be honest with you. I think he was just dead like propagandizing people, and the people that said why are we banning Zygarde were too not like vocal enough. I think Power Construct should have never been introduced to 1v1 in the first place. But I mean, in SM it's kind of hard to defend a ban because it's just not broken, and there's so many fairies and ice moves and Z moves and all that shit, dragon Z moves and shit. So yeah, it's whatever. That shit is secretly broken in SM, but that's another conversation. Anyways, like that was a weird tiering decision. And then you're just left with this, dude. Where in my opinion, right, there's no actual S. That's why this tier is like as close to S as you will get, because I don't think any of these mons are centralizing enough, right? Zeraora loses to like a fuckload of these mons, dude. Loses to fucking Lander T, Dazzling Limb Coco, some Metagross sets unless you're running weakness policy. Venu gets a Sacred Fire burned by Entei or whisked by the Stunna set. Loses to Regidrago, loses to Scarfed Arm. Can lose to Kyurem. Can lose to Barrier Shifu. Can lose to Sylveon. AV's a fucking fraud set. Can lose to Garchomp. Like, bro, this shit is like not centralizing enough, dude. It just loses it too much. That's the issue, dude. This tier is too decentralized. And then the mons that are at the top because they have 5 billion fucking sets, right? Zera has, and okay, I only like ever use ban Zera just because I don't like bulk up AV or bulk up life orb, because why are you raising your defense if you're just gonna take 10% of your health? I don't really understand it. I don't like AV because that shit does 0 damage and is slow and it's fucking terrible. I hate that set. I don't use weakness policy because I don't give a fuck about Metagross enough, because I don't think Zera is a good enough steel beater, because this shit looks fucking Steelix. And other guys that just, I don't know, Zera's role is never beating steals for me. So I only use Band, which I think makes it like one of the best ones in the tier. Prim can run Endure Custap, can run Specs, which is actually really underrated. Can run Icy Wind Encore, can run CM Encore Custap, can run like Chilean still. I think that shit's still viable. Overall, are you sensing something? That these mons have too many moves and too many berries and too many just annoying like weakness policy and shit. You got Crest, which, dude, I don't understand why Crest is not like a universally considered top 5 mon, because Darks and Ghosts are not good in this tier, dude. And everything else can either get tricked on or CM'd on. Helmet is viable. I don't know why people don't use that shit more. It 100% beats Zera. Helpful versus Metagross, right? So you don't have to like fucking like fear Keyberry getting fucking Meteor Mash raised to death, right? You got Stored Power. You got Sub CM, which Sub is insanely helpful for like a bunch of just random shit, honestly, like Venus Leaf Powder, Goodra Acid Spray, certain. I guess I can't really. I don't play this tier anymore, dude. I can't really remember the mons or all the shit the Sub beats. But it's very fucking helpful. Like, I have used that shit. Helps versus Ferrothorn, I guess. I remember people running fucking Payback Ferrothorn to beat that shit. Like SD Payback, complete nonsense. Crest doesn't like actually lose to anything, bro. Like, I swear to God, you have Rest, you have Moonlight, you have CM, you have Trick Scarf, you have Specs, which is underrated by the way, with Specs Shadow Ball, Specs Ice Beam, Specs Moonblast. Can beat a lot of annoying shit. Specs Shadow Ball good for Metagross. Then you got Pult, which can. Pult is like actually a like optimized matchup Fishmon, dude, because it has pretty good matchups versus everything. But then Specs Band, Weakness Policy. Most people will bring some teams that lose to one of those sets, unless you run a Fairy on every single team. On every single team, if you're running a Fairy or a Scarfer on every single team, it may not be super Bolt weak, but maybe it still gets good matches versus you, because it is also another Crest answer, because it is one of the few viable Ghosts or Darks. Crest actually loses to nothing, by the way. Like, counters wise, it doesn't lose to anything. Pult, the offensive beast, can punish you with weakness policy Hex. I've even fucked around with, actually this is more of an SV thing, but I used like Sub Bataya Hex, which I found kind of funny. And then you got the boring mons. You got Feeny. At one point for a while, the best mon in the tier, according to some, which it wasn't ever, in my opinion. Very, very harmless top mon to have, I guess. But it's definitely not S, because it's not strong enough, not bulky enough, not fast enough. Kind of an all-around. Just a fairy type. And I hate fairies. I don't like how people use fairies, because motherfuckers just don't run a fairy resist, or like run like fairy check fairy, or like fairy check encore, or like fairy check scarf toad. It's like, or fairy check fucking Marangatoad. It's like, dude, there's so many things that can go wrong with having your fairy check be another fairy. Like, I will never forget that. Actually, I probably will forget, because SS is not a memorable tier, but right now I have not forgotten that Smelly Socks vs Charm game where it was like Feeny vs Prim, Moonblast, Jerk-Off War, special attack drop spam game. That was like one of the worst SS games I've ever seen, and it was quite beautiful to watch it happen. I think on Metagross, who also can run 5 million berries, fun fact, and Band and Scarf, both viable. Weakness policy does shit. You got Lando. I don't know what other people use on Lando. I like Smackdown. Yachi's pretty good. Band is solid. Scarf is like probably terrible. I just kind of run SD random troll sets like as a third. Lando gets a lot of tools because it beats. Oh, Metagross can balloon, by the way. Dude, too many mons can run too many items, dude. Coco. I just think I used to hate this mon. I used to think it's fucking terrible, but it has actual options now instead of like fucking people only running mono T-Bolt, Eerie Impulse, which was never good. I think Fairy Move is good. I think Specs is good. I think Charge Life Orb is good. I think like hybrid sets are good. It just has a great typing. Honestly, I have run fucking Cocos that just lose to Prim. That's another thing about Prim, dude. It just actually can beat some electrics. I've seen it beat Zapdos. I've seen it beat Coco. The only fucking Zera I run is Band, so if you endure on that, Plasma G fucking G. With Custap, there's nothing I can do about that. And then Steela, kind of weird to put up here. But guess what, dude? It can run 5 million different fucking berries. Custap is funny. I'll show you guys a set I like, by the way. I'll put you guys on. Where is it? Celesteal, is it here? Yeah, okay, I run this set usually, sometimes with Wakan to beat Zone instead of Darm-G. But basically, Bulldoze Leech Seed beats Feeny. Helps for other random shit too. Protect, good. Basically just like a steel type that doesn't lose to random fairies like fucking Metagross does. Oh, I forgot about AV Metagross. Dude, why do these mons get so many fucking items, dude? Here, I'll show you all the items I'll run on Steela. Aqua viable, Custap viable, Band viable with my boy Megahorn. Funny set. I use a Scarf Rock Slide to C-Team Bomb 21 XD. AV viable if you're like Ravon. Specs can do shit. I've seen Life Orb, like Nale run Life Orb. I've seen. Let me see some more berries. Like I said, Wakan Berry, Aka Berry. What other shit is this shit weak to, dude? I don't even know. Is that his only weaknesses? Dude, this shit is so broken, dude. Yeah, I've seen every choice item. I've seen double like Custap, resist berries, Life Orb. Yeah, this shit is fucking ridiculous. Gets a cool move pool. You're gonna have to be a set builder to like make new steel shit. That Akka Subseed shit is also just kind of funny because it's kind of old, but that shit was fucking destroying everyone like 2 World Cups ago. Or what was it? I think it was still Akka, right? Yeah. Overall, can just do a lot. I don't really click it ever. Clicking, everyone sees steel and shits their pants, so there's no reason to. Then you got my boy Entei, who is fucking broken. Sacred Fire should be banned, like genuinely. Very uncompetitive move. Very restricting in the builder. I don't know why that shit never got banned. Actually I do. It's because it's an unintuitive ban. It's something kind of complex and something that would actually just be a net positive to the tier instead of just blanketly broken as fuck. Like Acupuncture, very broken move. AV's cool, Life Orb's cool, Subtech is cool. Sacred Fire is nearly broken. Oh, my boy Citrus Berry Wisp is cool. Goat set. Broken set. Beat a Dragapult, by the way. Venu, I put like the 3 Derek Mons in a row. Reggie on an insanely Derek Mon, but Venu, people always just, because Custap was so insanely anti-meta for a while, people just are used to seeing that, but they don't like I literally think because Custap is so expected, Sub, Leech Seed, blah blah blah, I guess Sludge, actually. What, not Smooth Rock, bruh. And then you got Sludge Bomb. It's like the only set I would run on. Actually, I've run Protect before. I think Protect is kind of cool. Yeah, and then you got Regidrago, another epic mon that can run 5 million different fucking items and has random EV variations and is fucking overall an annoying piece of shit. Just what SS needs, bro. Just what SS needs. Like, I guess I'll get into my other problem. Everything gets Encore, right? Everything also gets Endure. So you got Custap User, Prim, Custap User Metagross. I don't care if you don't think Custap Metagross is good. It's good. Custap User Lando, Custap User Stila, Custap User Venu, Custap User Drago. Darm can run Slag. Custap Kyurem is probably bad. I have used Custap Urshifu Dark before. It's a viable Custap user. I don't know what to say. Custap Sylveon, obviously. Custap Garchomp, obviously. Wait, where'd I put him? Custap Moltres. Custap Lele. Custap. Azu is probably usable with Custap. Custap Steelix. Custap Goodra, very underrated. Custap T-Tar. Custap Heatran. Like, there's too many. Custap Sog. I'm not gonna keep going. There's too many Custappers because I think my personal one opinion is that Custap is a net negative in every single gen. I think the mind games and the 33% is just terrible. For a tier that tries to be competitive. I don't know why Custap just has not been banned. Long term, it's a bad item for competition. Literally, I think the reason Custap wasn't banned is because people weren't like crazy about it in Ursa LT. Because they didn't realize that random, because every mon gets Endure, every mon can Custap and shit. Yeah, I don't like Custap as an item in 1v1 in terms of like meta balancing. No, that shit's terrible. You also got most mons being able to run fucking a million items. It's just hard to cover every single mon. And I'm not gonna say hard. I'm gonna say it is impossible to cover the majority of the meta. And by that I mean mons from here to here. I don't even give a fuck about the B- and the below mons. Those mons aren't even in the meta technically. So no, covering all these mons and all their items, and because like I said, the cores are not good enough. You know, like there's not some insanely good SS cores that can just carry you. Like literally, I think like the Derek cores are good. Like Entei Fini, Entei Venu Fini. Like those are like one of the best cores in the fucking tier, dude. And that's just like a meme. That's a meme core. Then you got Darm G, who can run Band Scarf. If it didn't Esco Crash Punch, I don't know in my opinion what it would be, but it can Esco Crash Punch. It's very cool. And Kyurem, yet another mon that can run like literally any item. Go in the sets comp. You know what matter? I'm gonna do it right now. Sets compendium. Let's see how many Kyurems there are, boys. Wow, quite interesting. You got 1 Kyurem, 2 Kyurem, 3 Kyurem, 4 Kyurem, 5 Kyurem, 6 Kyurem, 7 Kyurem, 8 Kyurem. 8 Kyurems! Very cool, very cool. I'm glad there's 8 Kyurems that are viable in this tier. I you know, when they said that there's only 7 Kyurems that were viable, I'm like, there really should be just 8, you know. It's a good number of viable Kyurems. And you got this fucking loser. I like Shifu. Shifu's underrated. People just shit on Shifu. And just dismiss it a lot. It just gets dismissed a lot. I don't know why. Has a ton of tools. That's why I see it. It's a mon that has enough tools to consistently find your way into the meta. As like a set builder person, I think that, yeah. Sylveon, kind of overrated. Kind of died for a bit. Probably not overrated now, but another epic Custap user. Dude, Sylveon is like the worst Custap user in terms of like, how should I play around it? I fucking hate this thing, dude. Garchomp, if you're Smelly Socks or Deg, you think this thing is like actually Jesus reincarnated. But those two are hella predictable when they use it too. It's actually fucking hilarious, dude. They always use it either game 1 or game 3. So game 1 or game 3, look out for the Garchomps if you're playing one of those type of players or someone fucking spamming their teams. I don't really feel like explaining any of these mons. Lecky's underrated. Toge and PZ are absolutely insanely overrated because Paraflinch is like not that good alone in SV or in SS. So it has to rely on like random shit. And that random shit is actually bad. I hate fairies that aren't that good and have like a not very good matchup versus other fairies, and like, dude, what does Toke even do, dude? What does Toke do to that people justify? Like, I don't really get it. I really don't, dude. I really don't get it. PZ also insanely overrated. Somehow Helmet is like the main set, dude. That's like the shit people spam. It's just not even that good. Helmet's a fucking fraud set, dude. It was good at a while. Like, I remember I was playing someone in SS friendlies. I just kept beating my shit with Helmet PZ, and I'm like, okay, I gotta put some respect on my boy. But now time has passed. I'm ready to fucking say that shit is terrible. I think what's keeping PZ this high, in my opinion, is that it can run Spectre Scarf, which people aren't super wary of. I guess people are aware of specs. I think Scarf is probably underrated for that reason. Real OGs know these 3 mons. Zone is like fine because it just beats relevant shit. I like Swampert because it's another mon that can run 5 million different sets. Let's see how many it has. I'm gonna say only 3 on here. Yeah, we got 3. I knew it. Who the fuck runs Chili and Yawn? What? Why would you run that? There's no choice ban on here? Dude, ban Pert is a demon. Literally better than these fucking Chode's ass sets. What are we doing here, bro? Bulu is actually kind of consistent for no reason. Guard is like epic, quirky, know your shit, and what farm bad players type shit. And then these mons are on they're either matchup fishes or like shitty glues. Rillaboom, another mon I have a prime example of fucking hating on this tier, because it is like actually a huge matchup fish, dude. Yeah, I think Rilla's just fucking dumb, dude. Why did I put Zapdos? Is kind of bad, dude. It's kind of not this mon's level. Is it kind of bad? I don't know. Zapdos is weird because Hurricane sucks. I always love Zapdos missing Hurricane on their Shifu. It brings me great joy overall. Then you got Zarude, which is a mainer mon. Literally a mon for SS mainers. Ninetales level is kind of another mainer mon. Chansey, which is kind of a Zao trip mon. Some of the Registeel. Same with Sock. 2 ground types do stuff cool. So I'm talking about why I hate building this tier, right? And why I hate playing it is because, okay, the way I play SS is that in order to fucking be able to beat all of these mons, right? I'll kind of like cut corners and run some weird sets. Like I'll be building 3 mons and like one of them is like fucking an empty set, and I'm like, I can just fill this in later, because I mean any mon can fucking run any different fucking barrier, choice item or whatever. So I'm like, I don't need to fill this in right now. I'll fill it in later. And then when I'm like, okay, I have these 3 mons and it loses to these 2 mons, I'm like, okay, I can just fill in this set and win, right? Now that leads to me running some fucking weird sets. Having to run weird sets, arguably. Or else I just get 3-0'd by a mon from here to here, which is not too good, man. Not too good. I don't like to get 3-0'd by any of these from S to A. From B plus is like nothing you can do about it. You're gonna lose to some of these fuckers. But S to A minus, I like to minimize the amount of fuckers I lose to. And then it's like, okay, I have my team with weird sets. Then they load their team, and I don't know what their sets are, and it's like I have to fucking, like, people act like set guessing is just is like a certified skill, bro. The amount of times I will just purposely lose to something, like I said, I run only Banzera, right? I'll run Prim check Banzera. If it's Prim versus Zera, I'm gonna fucking lose if they're under Custap. So my team loses to Prim Marina. They don't know that, right? There's certain things, like, some people are willing to run it. My check to this mon is Entei Stick if I burn. Or vice versa. My check to this is Entei not Stick if I burning me. So that's heinous. The fact that fucking the tier has so many mons with so many different sets. You don't know if your opponent values beating fucking Registeel or Volcanion or Gastro. No one really cares about Gastro. Zapdos, Aromatisse, like, it's just you don't like since you don't know your opponent's like full building like values, subconscious, conscious, all that, you don't know everything about your opponent. Like your opponent is not a text file that you can just scroll through and like see everything, right? You don't know if they're gonna just fucking lose to Urshifu. Like when I was building for I think Jacob, right? I was like, yeah, he's not gonna bring Darm or Urshifu. He won't bring those guys. And it's like, dude, are you just gonna bring a fucking team that loses to Darm, G, or Urshifu? People are not expecting you to do that, right? People are expecting you to have a random cust up shit or a random berry for Darm, and they're gonna try to play around that. Oh, but you never had in the first place. Like, too many mons have too many sets, and there's, bro, this is like 100 mons on this list, right? There's 100 fucking guys. Okay, if you want to take out the penis mons, that's like around 90. That's 90 things that like see use in tournaments. If you want to talk about, oh bro, nobody uses Celebi, bro, nobody uses bullshit, bro. Okay, dude, yeah, you totally defended Sword Shield Rare. You saved Sword Shield's legacy, bro. You really did by telling me people don't use these two mons that I have ranked not in penis tier, right? Like, it's too much. And my fucking, if I'm running a Dragapult, right? My Dragapult can only do so much, dude. They don't know what it does, but it can only do so much. So it's just a dynamic where I feel like playing and building, you don't have enough power. And there's so many SS previews that are just completely unintuitive. This and DVP are like the CEOs of just unintuitive previews, right? Because of, you know, mons that have too many sets and mons that fucking have too good of base stats compared to everything else. Like Cresselia, dude, that thing does not die. Primarina, Torrent, Hydro Cannon does 5 million damage. Like these mons are just so annoying, dude. And it's just the only fun way to play SS, in my opinion, is just to load like triple choice or like sock or like some other like brain dead mon that has like it's very unambiguous matchups, right? That's like the best way to play this tier. Like Heatran, that's like the best way to play this tier, dude. I swear to God. Like, unintuitive previews piss me off because in ORAS I try to learn like as much about matchups and like, oh well, actually you need to do this sequence to even have a chance. Like I enjoy that. I enjoy like having a tier where I can, I don't know this Meloetta calc, or I don't know this Zard-Y Gardevoir matchup. Let me just calc and see, or let me just play some test games, right? I love learning about like, okay, well now this is a fact. I know the answer to this question, and it's like when I see new teams in SS, I don't know what this fucker is okay with losing to. They don't know what I'm okay losing to. This is not good. They have jank sets because everything has to run a berry because there's no fucking megas or Z moves, and it's like playing and building this tier. If you're not even close to perfectionist, if you're like Gohar, like I think Gohar probably has the most fun building SS out of anyone, because he just slaps 3 fuckers together that have like basic synergy to some extent, and they're tournament ready teams in 5 minutes. If you want to say they aren't, you've probably lost to Gohar teams before. Like, like Gohar literally builds rival teams. He did that during Ballsack. He did it for Brian. He's done it for a lot of people. And he builds teams in 5 minutes. Like that's like the only way to actually have fun building SS. It's just not even like think about trends or think about like anything. Just no dots hit empty your way to fucking a basic team with like basic sets, right? But you also don't have much of an advantage by doing that, by not set building, by not, you're just running with shits on the set comp. So yeah, so I think it's kind of a bad meta for, I'm not gonna say kind of a bad meta for tournaments. This shit is a horrible meta for tournaments, right? Because it's not fun to build or play. So people always talk about like, oh, this individual is so bad, or oh my god, dead Tor, oh my god, whatever. And it's like, when I see that, I genuinely think SS is to blame for the decline, or death if you want to be dramatic, of individual 1v1 tournaments, right? Because in SM, right, if you were like, I want to win this tournament, bro, go build your ass up, bro. Go invent some like crazy fun Z move set that like you feel so swag pulling out to a match with fucking Fightinium Lele or whatever, right? I don't know, that's just a stupid ass example. You have like great tools. Like you have Dragonite and fucking Zard Y and fucking these really strong Z move guys. You have these tools to like actually check the entire meta. And like I think checking everything in SS or SM is impossible as fuck. But you have so much better tools. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm not the right berry on my Celesteela in this matchup, dude. This is so bad. In SS it's like, oh yeah, I'm a Psychium Z Lele. If you don't resist me, I'll probably OHKO you. Or wall you out with Z-Reflect. So yeah, get fucked. But in this tier, it's like, oh, well, I have to throw some shit together and hope I don't find a fucking Dracozolt. Or I hope I don't find a fucking Volcanion. Or it's just some dumb shit, bro. Like, the players just, unless you're like a Jacob Gymsocks level player. Those are the only two dudes who cared about individuals in the middle/end of the fucking tier, dude. Because those guys have like a ton of enthusiasm for not only the tier, but also winning. That's not most people. Those guys are fucking robots, bro. They're bots. You're not a bot. I'm not a bot. Well, I'm kind of a bot. In terms of, like, I've been okay in the past with just building tiers that I think are genuinely fucking terrible for weeks on end. That's a bot-like thing that I've done. But, like, it's just, you as a player just don't feel, like, as, like, empowered, I guess. You know, like in SS or in SM, like that was like the golden age of individuals, dude. That was when GGOPW was fucking not dropping any games in seasonal. That's when fucking Whale Jesus and LBDC had their come-ups because, hey, these guys are actually really fucking good. And they have good like styles and good like winning styles and like patterns and all that shit, right? That most players have. They have good styles and patterns. These guys are solid. And then it's like, you get to fucking SS and it's like, well, no one actually really has a ton of fun building early in the round. Like, or like early in the tour, middle of the tour. So that's how you see like Virgie in fucking top 8. And you see fucking Sayo in top 8. Like, I'm not gonna say, oh, in SM every top 8 was perfect. Because I think seasonal was a pretty bad tour. Right? But seasonal somehow felt more competitive than what we have now because it was a good tier, it was an intuitive format, and the good players cared about it. The good players were active in like putting individuals not as a priority, but like as some people did have individuals as a priority. I mean, there always are people and individuals that just recycle, and that's just what they do, right? But fucking in SS, it just feels like individuals come and then they go, and they come and they go. That fucking LT that Squirtle won, dude, that was insanely... I'm not gonna say LT like super fell off. I mean, I think it did a little bit. But like the Squirtle Sinon LT was ridiculous. Had a sick top 8 or top 16. Had beef. People were beefing. Yeah, I know. Crazy thing that people could actually beef in a tournament. And not get infracted or like banned from Discords or whatever, you know, stupid shit like that. It's just the competitive environment was way more lively in SM because of the tier, because of the environment, because players cared. It just felt like I don't know. It was just more colorful than it is now. Now it's just like, oh, people do their ins because they feel like playing 1v1 and they like 1v1 and they win in 1v1, so that means they're just going to keep playing. And then, they magically end up in top 8 and, you know, next tour, you know. I think SS being such a boring tier to watch. I didn't even talk about how boring SS is to watch, dude. It's like, okay, I'm loading my teammates' game up. Oh, here's an unintuitive preview. They're dropping their timers to 90 seconds because this is a non-intuitive gen. Oh wow, that was really fun to watch. On to the next game. On to the next series. On to the next week. On to the next tournament. For 3 years, right? So, if you're not fun to build, watch, or play, then what are you? And in this case, SS is balanced. So that's why I have the as close to S as you will get here, right? Because fucking like none of these mons centralize. I should have talked about this earlier. I'm like all over the place right now, but none of these mons like actually like centralize the meta super hard. Because if I think the only mon here that can like have potential to like centralize the living shit out of the meta is Crest. But people are like okay just losing to certain Crest sets. Like they're totally fine losing to fucking sub CM dude with helmet or key, probably key. I value the Metagross Zera matchup a lot, so that's why I keep talking about helmet. But dude, nothing actually like beats Crest reliably. Always, you know, experiment with mons like this and run. Oh, I'm just gonna put sub on here for this thing, or oh, I'm gonna run specs and abuse this coverage to beat Metagross. Like that stuff as a player you should always be doing, if you want to improve, right? And like, I don't know, bro. I think I always wanted a meta that was like not super centralized, didn't have stupid mechanics, and then here we are, and I'm like, this shit just sucks, bro. This shit just sucks. I guess it's because we know what every mon does, right? From S to B minus. I mean, most mons have been like pretty figured out. Besides like random berry variants, or like, oh, this guy is running some fucking stupid S gimmick set in their slot 1. How cool of them, right? So like you just get such a directionless meta. This meta is so directionless, bro. Like fucking people are just overrating certain mons. You got 5 million fairies, you got 5 million mons that have too many items. It's just you have no actual insanely set. No, you don't know. I'm not even gonna say insanely centralizing. These mons are not centralizing, dude. Run a ground type, run a fairy check, run a fucking strong mon or something that hits you super effectively. Run a fairy or a scarfer or a fucking AV mon or a fire type that doesn't care about band, battle rage. Like, this shit is just so fucking stupid that when in a meta with 100 mons, there's 109 images on here, I think, right? In a meta with 100 mons that see tournament play, well, I guess motherfuckers like Suicune don't, but for mons that most of them see tournament play, they have way too many sets, and to not have like a hierarchy, dude. There's not really a hierarchy. People use a ton of B plus and B mons because they do something or they like them or some shit like that. Like B minus mons, like just being matchup. Like I don't even know why I put Quirky, matchup fish, and B minus in the same tier. These mons, I guess, are things that like technically do unique things, but are basically matchup fishes. Like do not tell me with a straight face that Nidoking is not a fucking matchup fish. Like, come on now. It's just, and the prepping for this tier is just, it's not fun, dude. Because of how many fucking sets there are. Like, it's just, okay, my values, pretty much are the exact opposite of what SS values. SS values, like, I guess like a consistent process. I have a pretty consistent process, but my process is not, oh, well, I'm going to make teams and I know I lose to a bunch of stuff, but I'm going to try to change it up and try not to lose to the same things over and over, and oh, I'm going to try to set guess whatever set has been popular for the past week that Bo Bobson just added to the fucking sets compendium. Like, I want to know matchups. I want to know how to break the meta. I want to know, like, I want to know how to win in a way that is like not only consistent but my style. When I play or build SS, it's literally just problem solving to me, because oh well, I don't know if this person actually fucking loses to my B-Mon or not. Do they lose to my Rillaboom? Do they lose to my Cuss-type Goodra? Do they lose to my stupid gimmick helmet PC set? I don't fucking know. Like, man, I just think the only thing this meta succeeds at is balance, because these mons aren't broken because we fucking banned 6 mons that were broken. So what you're left with is 100 mons that are like more or less in the same ballpark of viability, because the B plus from OS to S is like such an insane drop off. Like, I get, like, Hoop Unbound is still, like, a good mon. Maybe that's an A- mon, I don't really know. But, like, you know, there's mons that are, like, very flawed. And it's, like, in B+, you have mons that just aren't super complete or have, like, a weird typing or anything like that. And it's, like, Aromatisse can still kick your ass because, oh, it has fucking EV variety. It has item variety. It has, like, matchups that are good. That if you're not fighting a steel type, like, oh my god, bro. I'm so, like, this is such an all over the place video, but basically here's what I'm saying. This is my fucking tier list. It's roughly like, it's kind of similar to my usage, just cause, like I said, SS is problem solving to me. I think this tier has failed in every aspect besides being balanced. But I'm using the word failure a lot, but like this gen just got so overplayed, dude. And I did have the circuit last year was just so garbage, dude. SS had way too many tours, dude. For the amount people enjoyed it, SS had too many tours. I'm gonna just say that's why Jim Socks and Jacob fucking stack rings, because no one else wants to pass them. Like remember when Jim Socks would just go negative in every tour, in every team tour? Like, and then he was still getting individuals. So it was just the funniest shit ever, dude. It was hilarious. Yeah, overall that's my rant on this tier. I think overall I give SS a 3.5 out of 10. That's my tier rating. Maybe like a 3.7. But like I see it as like very below average. Like if I'm gonna take SS, like some random tier, like SSUU, that tier is probably around a 5 or a 6, you know. I wouldn't say that the SSUU to me is like a 3 out of 10 tier, 4 out of 10 tier. I don't know, like that. But from my experience, this tier, it's just not. It's not very fun. If you have all these issues, but you're fun, then there's obviously something redeeming. That's why we play the game. But I don't know, man. The only reason I feel like people are gonna stay with SS is just because SV might be worse. Yeah, very very negative video. But like I said, I talked to Zio and you know, I agree. So it's not like I'm just a salty player that hates the tier because I don't win it enough, right? I've tried it. I've built. I've had some success, and overall, I just like. I think building is a great way to figure out balance in a tier, and this should not. It's not like if you build like 10 teams of a tier 1v1 and like try hard, you should be able to like form opinions on that tier. Like, oh, this mon's a bit much. Oh, I don't really understand the direction of this meta. Oh man, there's a bit too many mons. Oh, there's not enough mons. Like, fucking, if you're actively like building and trying to problem solve, I feel like if you really care about like top tier matchups, like that's when I realized like, oh shit, dude, Genesect is broken as fuck. Cause like nothing, like the only thing that actually beats it is fire types or like fucking stupid ass toxicity. Like when I try to find counterplay for a mon and I can't find it, that's how I know it's fucked. Same with like, oh well, I guess I have to set read this mon, and this mon. It's like, set reading is not a thing. Set guessing is a thing because you're fucking guessing. Like, come on now. Yeah, 3.5 out of 10. It's crazy for this 3.5 out of 10 because I don't know what I would do differently with Smogon rules. If you tell me Smogon rules are off the table, bring back Victini, nerf him a little bit, bring back Genesect, bring back all the boys. But fucking, I don't know, man. I don't know what I would have done differently. I definitely wouldn't have banned Zygarde Power Construct form. I wouldn't have done that. That's all I can really say though. Drop a like, drop a sub. I'm down to have some conversations in the comments if you guys want to talk about this. If you guys want to post your tier list, I'll have a template in the description. So, peace out.